on everyone? Welcome back to the Glassman's world. I'm Dan the Glassman, and we're gonna make some hearts right now. So this here is made pretty much out of mostly all clear glass with the red backing to make it look like it's solid red. I'll be using a 16 millimeter clear rod with the garnet, dark garnet, and a clear glass rod. So we're gonna do just a quick tutorial on how to do this. Simply just make a flat back pendant. So at this point, if you're learning how to blow glass, you should already have gone through the beginner lessons with making mushrooms and spirals and getting into the flat back flowers and things like that. So at this point here, we're gonna introduce the 16 millimeter into the flame, get it molten, gather it at the end of the rod here, round it out, and we don't need to make it big or anything like that. And then we're going to give it a flat, we're going to flatten it so it'll become a flat back. And like I said, we don't need much. I'm not making a really big head on here, which is actually making these a lot quicker to make. So now we're going to add some red to the back of this. And this will thicken up some of the pendant here, make it a little bit bigger. So we introduce the dark garnet into the flame, gather this up, get this molten, get it prepared to have the clear glass right at the edge of the flame with the color, touch them together in the flame, push that garnet in, and when you're pushing it, you want to make sure that it's not getting too thick on one side more than the other. So you really want to push that nice and centered. Flame cut that, get your paddle, get ready to flatten this. As you flatten it, you want to make sure that you're watching. So we're going to spin it a little bit, about corner turns. As I flatten it, we'll get this all molten and we'll melt it down. It looks like this right now. So we're going to melt it down and then flatten it on the pad on the table here. So this will make the entire pendant a little bit larger. And we may actually flatten it one more time with the paddle just to help spread it out and really flatten it. Okay, now we'll be able to go in and flatten it on the pad. And then we'll get into shaping it into a heart. I can't read any live comments this morning. The computer is already ready to go. I have it packed up in the car. I'm going to be doing a vending event. So if you're watching here locally today in Albuquerque, we'll be down at the Curious Sunday Market. Now the Curious Sunday Mini Market. It's a mini market because there's only about 4 or 5 of us vendors that show up, and we don't have space for many more than that. So it's a nice little mini market every Sunday in front of Curious Toast for their patrons and for anyone else walking by. We're right across from Arrive, the hotel right there on 8th Street and Central. So it's perfect for those of you who are coming in and traveling. If you want to come to Albuquerque for the Route 66 celebrations, Arrive would be one of the best locations because it's right there in the heart of downtown, or just outside of the heart. I guess the Civic Plaza at 4th Street would be the heart of downtown. And It's a great place to be on Fridays, the first Friday of the month. So if you come out to Albuquerque for Route 66 100-year celebration, Arrive would be a very good location to be. And it would be right across from us on Sundays. And if you're there on Fridays, the first Friday of the month, we have the ABQ Art Walk, which started out, I think, just a bunch of artists down there at the Mothership Art Gallery, down off of like 4th and Central, and next to 111 Media Collective, which had all the T-shirts and everything by our friend. Oh gosh, now I can't think of his name. I am so sorry. It's been so long. But over there, 111 4th Street and Central, the 111 Media Collective, James Black. Sorry, James. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been such a long time. So they make T-shirts. They can make your silk screens, so you can make your own T-shirts, or you can have them just run a bunch of shirts for you. So I believe the Albuquerque Art Walk started because of them, and they would do these events on 4th Street and Central every first Friday, and it kind of grew and it got bigger and bigger. And then someone in the city decided that they were going to take charge and organize the event, and then like make sure everyone has permits and all this stuff, and and kind of commercialized it. But it was an underground event for a while. A bunch of skaters would come out, bring their ramps and their rails to to grind on and slide 50/50s and things like that. All right, so we've cut this off, rounded it. It now looks like a completely solid piece of red, although it's mostly clear with a little bit of red on the back. So now we're gonna this is pretty much molten still, so we're gonna rock it on the bottom section, and just rock it back and forth and get that flame to penetrate through the whole half bottom of the pendant. We're going to grab it with the punchy here, and we're going to give it a slight pull. So just grab it and then give it a pull, make it look like a hot air balloon kinda, or an upside down water drop. So we just shape it like that, and then I'm going to snap this off. Well, actually, there we go. We'll snap that off. I didn't think I had a good joint there. Alright, so now we just melt down the punchy mark on the back. Make sure that that's all nice and flat. So we'll just melt it down. We'll use the marving tool here. You can use your paddle, you can use the pad, and flatten it down. And then we're going to get the top half nice and molten here. And I don't know if anyone's commented or not here. Let me make sure we got the comments up. So then we're going to heat up this top section here. And I have a knife here. And we're going to simply just go through. You can get scissors and you can cut it in the center. I'm going to simply just take my knife here and go directly in the middle and just kind of force it in, and then give it a little bit of a sideways push to force that apart there. So just kind of just boom, boom, boom like that. Then we take it in the flame, we heat this whole thing up, and we flatten it. So we just flatten the back. These other ones I kind of flattened on top, but I'm going to actually just flatten this on the back and allow it to stay nice and rounded on the front. I didn't even think about that till now. So, even I figure out some things. I'm like, oh, that's cool. All right, now, as you can see, it looks like it's just solid red, but from the side, it's all clear. So this is a way of getting away with using less color and more clear glass to really, really get that to pop. And it looks beautiful when you can see that clear glass, because the light can then get in there. The sunlight or any sort of light can get in there and really, really make the magic happen with the way that sunlight and glass, the way I read about it one time, and the writer described it as a dance of light and glass, creating reflection and refraction, like this beautiful, beautiful dance of both together combining. So now I'm gonna offset the loop here. We're gonna go on the side, and we're just gonna pull it forward, bring it around. Oops. I accidentally touched that part, but I'll just seal it together like that. I accidentally touched the loop on the rod, and it got all doofy. And yeah, I said doofy. It got all goofy, it got all messed up. Alright, so that's what it looks like. All doofy looking. Alright, so we're gonna melt this down. Allow the heat to just melt it all in and get it thick again and fix it. Make sure the hole doesn't close up. So now we're just melting this down, getting it attached to the pendant, and we're gonna hang this sideways. I might have pushed it over a little too much, so I'm gonna try to just bend it over some. Alright, and I'll just make this hole slightly bigger. There we go. So now we got the hole there, and it's offset. So now we grab it with the tweezers. Always preheat the tweezers and make sure, or whatever tools you use. If you're using, I used to use pliers when I first started. I broke off a little clear glass, so we're gonna definitely make sure we pull that off here. That should have snapped off. Alright, I'm just gonna pull just a little bit of that clear glass. Alright, and so I just wanted to make sure I didn't have too much clear glass. Now we're going to heat it up and allow it to kind of fall naturally, and also help it and just guide it some. Grab it and pull it like that to where it's kind of lined up with the with the loop on top. So falling vertically down from where the loop is, and you got yourself this beautiful drooping heart. And I'll heat up the whole backside and make sure that all the garnet all flushes out together, and then it can all come back together. Yeah, I'll just let that cool. We'll put that on the pad here, and we'll get those in the kiln. But these are pretty nice. This one's a lot bigger than the other one here. Well, not a lot bigger, but they have a difference in size there. One's going one way, one's going the other way. So yeah, got some new heart for Valentine's, and that's how I make them. Just wanted to give you a quick tutorial, and I appreciate you tuning in and watching. Be sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more glass videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Alright, I got to get ready for our market today. If you're here locally, we'll be down at Curious Toast at the Curious Sunday Mini Market, right there on Central Avenue, Route 66, between 7th and 8th Street. 718 Central, Northwest. Alright, you guys have a beautiful day. Love and blessings. I'm out.